Welcome to practice. Silas here. Welcome to this brief class in which we will explore your standing foundations. So we will start with the feet and then notice how do the feet influence the knees and how does that ripple up into the pelvis, into the hips. So to start, we will come into a butterfly shape. Bring the feet out in front of you, and then we're not here to fold forward or do the pose, but to inspect the feet. Some people find the feet really weird. I find them massively interesting. So get familiar with your feet. You can press onto the soles of the feet. So when we come into standing positions, the first thing we want to get ourselves familiar with are the 3 points of contact that we search through our feet. And one is at the heel, so you can bring your thumbs onto the heel and just press there. That's 1 point of contact. And then in construction work, I'm a carpenter by trade originally, triangles are the most stable things in building. So we try to create triangles wherever we can. So from the heel, you draw a line, you can go with your thumbs along all the way to the big toe. And then just where the big toe mount is, that's another point of contact. And then from here, walk across the balls of the feet towards the pinky edge and imagine there's another point out there. And then from that outer point, you walk the thumbs back towards your heel. And you can walk up that triangle one more time, massaging your arches along the way. Feet are the most unconscious part of the body often because it's so far away from the head maybe. And then we will come up standing into Tadasana at the front of your mat. And you can bring the feet hip width distance apart or big toes together to touch. Let the arms come by your side. Stand up tall. Close your eyes if it's available to you. And then let your awareness drop into the feet. And search those 2 triangles in the left and in the right foot. Shifting your weight evenly between right foot and left, front and back. And finding your inner plumb line, maybe gently swaying side to side, back and forth. And letting these little movements, if you move, become smaller and smaller till you feel like you're standing in your own center with the weight evenly distributed into your feet. And then from here, let your eyes blink open, look down at your feet, lift all 10 toes of the floor, feel and notice how that lifts up the inner arches of your feet. The kneecaps lift up towards the sky and the thighs become active. Keep that activation for your thighs, knees and arches and lower the toes back down. Spread them into the floor. On the next inhale, reach your arms up, stay grounded for your feet. Grow tall like a tree. On the exhale, fold all the way forward and down. Soft bend for the knees if you're tired in the back of the legs. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, halfway lift. Strong legs, toes active. Exhale, hands down, step the left foot back, lower the left knee down. Find your low lunge. Bring your hands onto your hips as you come all the way up with your upper body. And then look at the right foot. Can you bring the right knee over the right ankle? And then we will do the pose intentionally wrong. So begin to shift forward. Let the knee move way in front of your ankle, even over your toe. Notice how the frontal hip bone begins to come closer to your right leg, to your right femur bone. And then notice by pressing into the right foot, you begin to bring the right knee back over the ankle. The frontal hip bones lift away. Keep the right foot active. Keep pressing into the top of the left foot as well. Let's do that 2 more times. Just move intentionally out of alignment. Knee goes way over your foot. And then press into the 3 points of contact on the right foot to bring the knee over the ankle to lift the right frontal hip up. 1 more time. Shifting forward. And then pulling back. Take 1 more breath in. Keep lifting the frontal hips up. On the exhale, let the hands come down. Lift the left knee off the ground. Take a breath in. Lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, step the left foot forward, fold forward, front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, hands ground down. This time step the right foot back, lower the right knee down. Bring the top of the foot down towards the floor, hands to your hips, and then bring the upper body all the way up. Have a look here. Can you bring the left knee right over the ankle? Toes active. And then we move out of alignment. Hold onto your frontal hip bones. Let the left knee move way forward. Notice how that closes the left hip crease. And then press into the left foot actively to lift the frontal hips up. Keep pressing into the top of the right foot. 2 more times. Moving way forward. Pressing into the foot, lifting it up. Last one. And lift it up. Take one more breath in, frontal hips lift. Exhale, bring the hands down towards the floor, lift the right knee off. This time step the left foot back, find your downward facing dog. And then as you find the down dog, see if you can let the feet come hip width distance apart. And then similar to what we did standing, become aware of your foundation. Let the heels be heavy, they don't have to touch the ground, but that one point of contact tries to search for groundedness. Spread through your toes, lift the kneecaps away from the ground. Imagine you squeezing a block in between your inner thighs, hollow out the lower belly, frontal hips, lift gently. Tailbone lifts up. And then come high into the toes, walk your way all the way towards the front of the mat. Once you arrive, inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold all the way forward and down. Inhale to rise all the way up, reach your arms up towards the sky. Stay active through your feet and legs. Exhale, hands onto your hips, Tadasana. And we're going to step the right foot all the way out. And as you step it out, at least be generous with your stance, so longer than just a leg length. And then look at your feet. Have the outer edges either parallel to the outer edges of your mat or the big toes slightly turned in towards your heels. Okay, and then from here, we're going to keep the hands on the hips because we're going to focus on the feet. Look towards the left foot. On the next inhale, lift the left toes off the ground and then begin to turn the toes towards the front of the mat. And notice as you turn the toes forward, how the second toe tracks in line with your kneecap. See if you can keep that alignment as you place the ball of the foot back down. Begin to bend into the left knee and find your warrior 2 legs. Let the left knee arrive right over the ankle. Keep grounding down into the outer edge of the back foot. And if you have the toes slightly angled in, you will notice if you lean the upper body slightly forward, that the kneecap travels right in line with your second toe. Keep the legs active. Imagine something heavy or Ganesha is sitting down on your left thigh. For some of us, the distance of the stance might not be wide enough. We're just going to stay here. Keep lifting the frontal hips up. Keep moving the knee towards the outer edge of your mat. And then straighten the left leg, curl the toes up, turn them in, bring them angled in towards the left back corner of your mat. Lift the right toes up, turn them out, let them trace in line with your right knee, and then bring the foot down as you bend into the right knee. Let the knee arrive over the ankle. Stay active through the back leg, and then remember, by pressing into the feet, the frontal hips lift up. The suggestion in the beginning that ripples up of Uddiyana Bandha and Muladhara Bandha. You can keep the chest facing towards the side. If you really want to add the arms, be my guest. And then straighten the right leg, curl the toes in. We're going to move side to side 2 more times. Lift the left toes up. Let the knee trace in line with the second toes. As you bend in, you notice your stance might get a little bit longer. Maybe you want to add on your arms. You can look straight ahead or look over the front middle finger. But notice, does your knee fall in? If you look down towards the left foot, can you still see the outer edge of your left big toe inside the left knee? And then press back into the foot. Curl the toes in. Turn over towards the other side, right toes curl off. Trace the knee in line with the second toe as you bend into the leg. Keep the knee over the ankle. Keep pressing the knife edge of the back foot into the floor. Frontal hips lift. You got this, gaze steady. And then press back into the right foot. Curl the toes up, turn them in, bring the hands onto your hips. Let the big toes be angled in. Inhale, let the heart lift. On the exhale, fold forward and down. Let the hands either stay on your hips or bring them down towards the floor underneath your face. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale to fold forward and down. Any hand position that you want to take. You can either keep hands on the floor or hold onto your ankles. But notice as you come down here, what's happening in your legs. Keep pressing the 3 points of contact evenly into the floor. Keep lifting the kneecaps away from the ground, and if you feel like you're losing the activation through your legs, take a soft bend into your knees, press into the ball of the right foot as you straighten the legs again, thighs move back in space, kneecaps lifting. Draw the navel into the spine, breath spacious. And then let the next inhale take you halfway up, bring the hands onto the floor. Going to take Skandasana towards the right side. Turn the toes out towards the back of your mat as you bend into the legs. So you want to stay grounded. So if you can keep all 3 points of contact down, if the heel wants to lift off, keep the hips up higher. Also here, the knee wants to travel in line with the toes. We move over towards the left side. Toes turned out, letting the left knee trace in line with the left second toe. The right toes can curl up and they also trace in line with the knee. One more time each side. And then come back towards center. Walk the hands towards the front of the mat. Both hands inside the left foot. The right foot steps forward. Come through your Malasana squat. Sit the bum onto the floor and then extend the legs out in front of you. Gonna play a little bit with the foot positioning to teach you how the position of your feet is actually influencing your pelvis. So let the hands come onto the floor next to you and then look at your toes and flex them back towards you. Move the center of the thighs down and notice how flexing the toes back wants to move your pelvis into a posterior tilt. And then we do the opposite. Keep the hands on the floor, begin to point your toes, keep the legs active, and notice how pointing of the toes will begin to move the pelvis into an anterior tilt. So depending if you're very stiff in the back of the legs, it might be advisable in a forward fold to actually point the toes instead of flexing them. And then by pointing the toes, the pelvis moves forward, or it moves into an anterior tilt. If you're very open, on the other hand, curling the toes back and then folding forward will be more advisable. So a couple more times, just moving the toes into flexion and pointing them, and notice how that movement ripples into your pelvis all the way. And there's something called flointing in between. It's something between flexing and pointing the toes. So flex them all the way back and then point them all the way forward. Now go towards the halfway point, flex the toes back, but move the balls of the feet forward, and you find this middle ground. On the next inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. On the exhale, fold forward, holding onto your feet, onto your knees, onto your shins, whatever you get. Let the spine be long. If you're very stiff in the back of the legs, even bend your knees a lot, so you can easily hold onto your feet. And then just to finish off here with a little play, flex the toes back, notice if something changes in the pelvis, and then point them forward. And do that a couple of times. Flexing and pointing. Just noticing how that entire chain, it's all connected. Your body is all connected. Okay. And then the next inhale takes you all the way back up. On the exhale, letting yourself fall all the way back into Shavasana. Let the feet come hip width distance apart, arms by your side. Letting the back of the head be long. Letting the eyes close down. Letting the awareness move into the sensations, into the little vibrations in your feet, legs, hips. Noticing the leftovers of your practice. Letting the breath be free. Arms, shoulders, and face soft. Palate empty. Gifting yourself a moment to let go. And after you learn to let go fully, you will begin to receive the benefits of this practice, benefits of the effort. Shavasana. If you have extra time, allow yourself to stay for as long as you need, another few minutes, another few hours. If you need to move on, begin to deepen your breath. Send the breath into your toes, into your feet, into your fingertips. Begin to move and to wiggle, bending through your elbows, reaching your arms over your head. And bending one knee at a time, rolling over towards one side. Maybe keeping the eyes closed as you find your way back to a seat. Using the top arm to help you up. Letting the head arrive last. Keeping the eyes downcast or even still closed. Letting the hands meet at the heart. A moment to thank yourself. A moment to acknowledge the time that you took, effort that you spent. Thank you so much for practicing to come back to some foundational work, some stuff that we in the flow of everyday yoga classes we sometimes tend to forget. I hope to see you soon. Namaste.